Hey there, berries. Welcome to episode 2 of this coaching series. If you missed out the first episode, we did one with Bell, which is a Zyra player in Silver. Today we're going to be doing one with Destructor, which will get his beautiful face showing on stream in a second. He is currently in Bronze, so I believe we're going to be probably looking at another Zyra game. If you don't understand the concept of what I'm doing here, we've got 4 people here that have basically won by submitting applications to me for a coaching session series. We're going to be keeping track of these guys throughout the month, so we're going to be doing weekly updates with coaching sessions and things like that to make sure that they're on the right track and they kind of like get closer towards where they want to hit in leagues. So today we're going to be looking at Destructor, and his beautiful face is on stream. So can you say hello, Destructor? I can't hear you. Can we hear you? Can't hear you. Hold on. It might be on my end.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it was on my end. Apologies.
There you go. Hey, how's it going? This is
good. Yeah, so you're on the big screen. Sorry to put you on quite a big on the spot so quickly.
Yeah, right. I thought we were going to be on a Discord call, just the two of us, and you were like, should we stream instead? Okay. Yeah.
Just throwing you right into the defense straight away.
Hey, everyone in chat.
So
nobody call me daddy, please.
So tell me, what made you want to apply in the first place?
Okay, so I started playing League about a year ago with some friends. Never played any sort of MOBAs before, thought League was lame, and now I play it all the time, and I want to get better at it. So we ended up doing a couple of coaching sessions on the Patreon. It was good fun. You said you wanted to do maybe a series. Thought I may as well apply.
Yeah, and you ended up taking part in a series as well. So you are currently in Bronze. Was it Bronze 1?
Bronze 1 as of today. And
where do you kind of want to be into by the end of the month? What are you kind of expecting or anticipating or wanting?
I have no idea. I don't really know the time frame for like how high I can climb. So I would like to be in gold eventually, but I don't really know what's possible across the month, if I'm honest.
Okay. And how often do you feel like you play like solo queue?
Been a little bit up and down recently, but this is part of the reason for the coaching. It gets me more motivated, and I started playing Zyra pretty much non-stop now, which is more fun. So I'm enjoying it. Enjoying Zyra.
Okay, good. That will be one of the things that we will be monitoring, making sure that you're still putting in the solo queue games in, and making sure that you're giving yourself a chance to actually improve by doing the games as well. So you seem to be a Zyra one trick, is that correct? Or do you play other champions as well?
I have played a lot of Lux, Morgana, Lulu, Braum, some Blitzcrank, some Nautilus. Started playing Zyra recently, but pretty much just because you were saying how good Zyra is, so just started playing Zyra. Okay.
One thing I'll probably say from the champion pools, that the champions that you just mentioned, is just let's make sure we try and narrow that down a little bit. I don't want you playing like all the champions. I know I do. But if I had to choose for myself to climb, I would only be choosing like 3-4 champions really to focus on. So we'll start off with one of your Zyra games, because I know there's 1 or 2 in the match history that we can look at for today. But we're going forward, try and limit yourself to not playing too much. I know you already are with the Zyra, but just so that you're on that. Do you have any questions from going into this? Any concerns, any questions or anything? You seem pretty chill.
Not really.
You seem happy to be here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that we can just jump straight into the coaching session if you're ready.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, let's go for it. Right, I'm gonna move you. You can turn your webcam off now if you wish. You feel free to pick your nose and whatever you do in the background. You can leave your microphone.
That's what I've been waiting for. I'm really glad you said that.
Awesome. Right, so going into your profile now, you can see this on the stream, right?
Yeah, slight lag. Reload.
Okay, so I'm in your profile now. There's some games here, like I asked you to play some ranked games. Thank you very much for playing some on the weekend. Some nice fresh games that we can go over. And I see that you've won them all, which is very disappointing.
Yeah,
You've
I'm
won
really good. That's the
you've
problem.
actually won a lot of
Being a
games
bronze one.
recently, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, I did a couple of normal games as a warm up, and I did a couple of normal games maybe Friday or something with a friend. So
Right. Do you duo regularly, or is
no,
it just,
not
no?
at all.
Okay. It's not a problem. It's just something that I would then talk about more about what you would communicate more of your AD carry about.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. He's gold 1, so pretty big. He had a gap.
Okay. So yeah, the one reason why I'm disappointed in you that you've won all of your ranked games is because I like seeing people from a losing perspective.
Yeah.
Which one of these games would you say that you won on the ones that have access to the replay to? The one that you kind of felt like laning phase in particular was difficult for you?
I mean, 256, I guess, doesn't look too good. Honestly, I can't remember what the games were specifically. They were all okay. I think honestly, I think any of them are probably a pretty good indication of how I usually play.
Okay. Just the main thing here is I'm looking for someone that isn't just going to be interfering with your lane, that's smurfing or doing really well. So that this is really, for example, top lane. You guys do quite well bot side.
So the game you clicked on before, it was actually an Anivia support, and the Cogmore rage quit.
Okay, so great, yeah, so great,
the
thank you. That helps me a lot. So I don't want to see games like that where the enemy teams rage quit and stuff like that early and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Is there any other games like that here?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Ezra has 313. That's quite brutal. And then we have is that a Bronze Zyra bot lane, or is it a Zyra Nautilus bot lane? Zyra Nautilus.
Yeah.
That's most recent one. 15 kills on Yi, 13 kills on Jin. It's quite difficult to choose. It's quite difficult to choose winning games. I'm gonna go for this first one. This 4-6-16 one. Then let's have a look at that. We might have to look at more than one game, just because there's victories. Because as soon as someone really fed starts influencing you, it might impact the quality of the coaching session. But we'll see what we can do. If the game loads, there we go. Right, okay, so you are red side. Okay. Let's go through here. So let me just check your runes like I did with Bell for the previous session. You are running the Arcane Comet build, but you've gone Domination Secondaries. Do you want to tell me, like, is this what you usually take? And if there's any specific reasoning why you take these runes?
I have face check, and face check told me to do it.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the same build as I gave Bell. I'd like you to do Inspiration Secondaries, so Cookies and Cosmic Insight. I want you to have instead. I think Taste the Bud is okay, but Cookies would give you the healing anyway, and you'd also get mana regeneration from the cookies. Relentless Hunter's giving you movement speed, which is going to encourage you to roam potentially more often when you're but that's only when you're out of combat, so it's not going to be affecting you in the laning phase that much. And also generally in the lower ELOs, particularly when we're talking about bronze and silver, you on someone like Zyra, you're not actually going to be able to roam that much anyway, so it'd be better to have lower cooldowns for the actual fights that happen.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, you're joining up with an invade here. You haven't leveled anything, which is really good, which means that you can switch to E if needed. Because you generally don't want to start lane, ideally, with E level 1. Ideally, you want to have Q. I mean, like, if you end up like going into here to invade and you like see someone, then yeah, then level the E. I mean, you haven't leveled it up now, which is a really good indicator for me.
Okay.
That you're aware.
From before.
Right. So now you have targeted it in, so I would have said that you probably didn't have to. God, this honestly, it's like, yeah, you wouldn't see this honestly in the high ELOs. The main reasoning why this kind of invade is this play here is particularly bad is because your mid laner is now losing CS in the mid lane. So this is every second that this goes on, the more that your mid laner gets punished. So right now you definitely have to get something here, and yeah, having your E here is good. Good root catch.
I didn't want to do this. as soon as the Jin was pinging, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think this is a good call. I guess it worked out for the best anyway.
Yeah, managed to work out. Yeah, you just want to get back into lane. Yeah, one thing I'd like to say, so I'm going to say some good things here for you. In terms of like, this play here, I'm not going to like fault you for it. It's just the situation that you're in. Root is good. Really good. And also you're doing auto attacks most of the time. You could maybe like get an extra one in every now and then, but like the majority of the time you're auto attacking, which is really good at this early point in the game. So yeah, thumbs up for me for auto attacking.
Nice, thanks.
So you just killed the AD carry, right? Yeah, you just killed Zyra. So at this early stage of the game, you're not going to be able to like push this in and then reset. You just don't have the abilities, AP, and damage to do that. So the next best thing you can do is make sure that Nautilus doesn't get into XP range. Just kind of harass him as much as you can. There's not like a huge amount that you can do here. One thing I'll say in this situation as well, like we just saw that Jax had the blue buff and he obviously came through here, so you know that they invaded. Which means that this Yi is going to struggle a lot early, so the enemy jungler will be stronger.
I didn't even notice that actually. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean Jax came through with the blue buff, but like when you're seeing the enemy bot lane coming from your side of the jungle like this, and then you see their jungler, there's only like one circumstance why they would be there, because they stole your buff on your side of the map.
Yep.
So yeah, here like you can look to maybe being a bit cheeky. Might be a bit more difficult with no W and Q to harass. But yeah, I'd probably say at this point you might want to like get this lane shoved in as quickly as possible for like either a reset or just so that it's like at a more neutral state rather than under their turret. So I'd say like try and like maybe help if possible, like auto attack the cannon minion a little bit. Yeah, I don't think you need to overextend too much, because if you do get like hooked under turret, then obviously you're going to be in a really, really bad spot. Yeah, okay. One thing I'll say is if you are rooting like this, you have no way to disengage if he decides to switch onto you. Yeah, at this point as well, Zyra didn't actually use her E when you rooted, which means that she still has like feathers to stack up potentially. So if you E here, Nautilus can then just like press Q on you straight away, re-engage, and then Zyra could then get feather overlap and then root you, so it would force you to flash potentially. Okay. So you don't want to, particularly against hard engaged champions like Nautilus and Thresh and Leona, I wouldn't look to actually engage with your E. You just want to do kind of Q harassment and just play off that. Because don't forget, you did get first blood, but you haven't actually spent any of the gold either, so technically you're still on an even level with them anyway right now.
Yeah.
And you're both level 2, so try not to use your E too much. Like here, for example, like now, okay, so two bad things have happened here. So you've done the E that we were talking about, so then now you're open to an engage, but also you're walking forward into them. So now Nautilus has really good opportunity. Like if I saw this in solo queue, I'd be looking to like engage on you straight away, because you're now massively overextended and you have no way to get out. That's what Nautilus should be looking to do right now. So try not to Yep.
Is there any way that you can share your screen on Discord, just because the stream is slightly lagging behind the audio?
Yep, sure. I can see if I can get that going for you.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's fine. Do you see it now?
Yeah, that's way better, thank you.
Okay. And let me know on stream if there's any lag issues and stuff as well. Okay. Is that all working for you now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's right. We'll once again try not to do the E out as much, just in case they come in for a counter engage.
Yeah.
Like here, for example, now the Jhin gets engaged on and you don't have a way to peel him off. and he gets put in a position where he's nearly dead. He doesn't have any summoners up, so yeah, that's the reasoning why we don't just throw out our E's like that.
Yeah, you told me this on Wednesday. So.
So yeah, so don't look to just throw out your E randomly like this.
Okay.
I would say like you can say, for example, nothing bad happened and Jin was healthy, and then Nautilus was on this kind of HP. Then you could actually look to engage, because even if you were to miss, Nautilus is never going to engage on with like 20% health, because that is an opportunity where you can look to engage with your E. If you've already poked them down with Q, then you can, because he's not going to engage in with that HP if Jin is like, you know, looking more healthy than this. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, once again with the root. Now if Nautilus, once again, if the Zyra plays up here and Nautilus makes a hook here, is one of you would actually die. So yeah, that's the main theme. It's kind of the same theme as well with the previous one we did as well, with Belle, the coaching session from the first episode. It's very similar. You want to look more to using your Q more to poke down rather than your E. And once again with your E again there as well. That seems to be the big theme here.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much I was doing it until you watch it back.
Okay, let me have a look at this. Okay, so Nautilus actually catches you out and you have E ready now. I want to see who you E. Okay, so you E Nautilus, and I think you whiffed your plants as well actually. I need to have a look at this in like ultra slow-mo. And I'm going to say advise you on what to do next time you're in a position like this.
Okay.
So you get hooked. You E, which is correct. But your plants didn't spawn.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a huge issue there. Another thing as well I'd advise you is, if a tank is engaging you, by the time Nautilus is already in that position, he's used everything. So he's already used his Q. He's already auto hit you at that point anyway. There's nothing else after that he can do to be scary. But the main other threat at that point is the AD carry.
Okay.
So what you want to try and do in this situation next time is, when you get engaged on, you're not going to be able to stop this Nautilus from doing this stuff. He's already engaged on you, but you can try and stop this AD carry from continuing pursuing you. So
root the Zyra instead?
Yeah, so ideally you want to root the Zyra, and if you had slow, say for example here, she gets rooted with 2 slowing plants, she's dead. She's dead. Yeah. Absolutely dead. She's very squishy as well. You could even do like even in this kind of position as well, you could even do like a fade away ignite where, you know, as you're running back, you just like, you know, whack an ignite on her. Like you still have flash, she doesn't have flash. So you could, you know, you got room to outplay here. Also, she's out of mana. So you do turn around to do some damage back onto her.
I think I make a real big mistake. Yeah.
Ooh, that's the nasty E from Zyra. Yeah, okay. So yeah, doing damage on a tank or looking to get rid of the tank at this point is just redundant, because Nautilus has done everything that he's needed to do here.
Okay.
The only thing that's gonna be more persistent is the AD carry. So just try and make sure the AD carry can't do as much as they would like to, and then play the situation from there.
Also, I was trying to get back in just to ignite. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks juicy for sure. It looks really juicy. You just forget about the Zyra feathers. I can see why. I'm not gonna like fault you too much at that. I can see the kill potential there and stuff like that. But like, if you had rooted the target, I think if we just only analyze it from the first interaction here that started it all off, if you had rooted the Zyra, this wouldn't have happened anyway. So Yeah, when you get engaged by a tank, try and crowd control the AD carry. It's the same with like, you know, if you're playing any champion, like for example Nami, if I were to get engaged by a Leona, I would always be looking to bubble the AD carry.
Okay.
Because as I said, once the tank's on your face, they've already done everything that they've needed to do. You're not gonna, yeah. So the next like hook cooldown is like 10 seconds for Nautilus. So all he can really do.
By that point, isn't
yeah,
it?
exactly. So your first buy, you get boots. Is that it? Okay, hold on. I need to see. You should have got more gold than this.
Isn't it?
You're on 900 gold right now. You buy boots and that's it. Why is that? Do you know?
I think I was gonna rush Silk Shoes.
Okay.
I think that was the idea. I think I was gonna get tier 1 boots, then go back and get tier 2 as soon as I could.
So what I'm going to tell you is, yeah, that kind of stuff. I know how that feels, and it kind of sucks when you're close to an item, but you can't quite afford it. But you still have to get the strongest buy that you can, especially at this early point in the game.
Okay, so amplifying tome and a ward probably then.
Yep, exactly. You could also think about a refillable potion as well. That would be okay too. So like, you know, any combination of like the boots plus an amplifying tome, control ward, refillable, like any kind of combination with the maximized amount of gold that you have. Like coming back out of lane like this early in the game with 600 gold is actually super illegal. So yeah, the police would be on you for sure. So yeah, you got a lot of, yeah, you need to be utilizing the gold when you're coming out of Fountain. I know it's like super annoying, like you need 100 gold. Like sometimes it's okay to wait like 30 gold for like an item, particularly if it's like boots too, because like say if you were 30 gold away from Silk Shoes, you can just wait in Fountain, because by the time you wait for the gold, and then you get the movement speed boost anyway, you'll be back in the lane almost at the same time ish anyway.
Yeah.
So like that waiting in base for like 30 gold is fine, but like you don't want to be leaving base with a lot of gold.
Yeah. I think I was thinking rush boots because the Nautilus, but I guess even tier 1 boots is probably...
And you're probably going to pick up enough gold. I mean, you've already picked up the boots one, so you know you only need a bit more gold anyway. Like you're going to probably get the gold anyway for tier 2 boots on the next buy anyway.
Okay.
Especially if you buy like more AP, then you're probably you might have increased your chance of getting a kill, which you know would give you those boots anyway. Yeah, and the same kind of thing again. A is a bit risky anyway to play around with a Nautilus and Zyra basically 1v2. Jin's not in a position to actually help you out here. But yeah, you want to do a Q, QW, and that's max range QW, I'd say. One thing I will say, it is nice that you, I don't know if you did this intentionally or not, but having a plant in front of you, no, it's passive. So you're having like a plant in front of you like this is really useful against like a Nautilus, because then he would hook the plant. It works with Thresh as well, so he would hook the plant as opposed to you. But yeah, if I was that Nautilus, I'd be actually looking to engaging. Yeah, it was just because of the passive points, but yeah, that is something that you can look to do against the hook champion like Blitz, Thresh, Nautilus.
Yep.
So yeah, at the moment you're in the back foot here. You're 0-2 combined. Although you did get the kill, didn't you? On the Jin got the first blood, so yeah. So it's one kill, 2 deaths down here at the moment. Yeah, this is better. You look okay. I wouldn't use the E here, but like this is better that you're looking to do a QW harassment. I wouldn't just then throw out the E randomly. We need that E. Okay, just a little bit more respect for the fact that you need your E. Because if it's on cooldown, you have no way to disengage. Like here, for example, like here, like here where Zyra is like basically half your E range away. Like here, that's actually a really good position if you have E available. Like here, like there's no Nautilus here. If you get E with like a slowing plant here, Jin can follow this up. You might not get a kill, but you're definitely going to do a lot of damage to this here. So this would be like the ideal. If you end up in a situation like this, then you want to have E. This is why we don't just like throw it out randomly.
Okay.
So you know that you could have. That Zyra should be like 50% health right now. Okay, just look to do like max range QW whenever you can. Okay, so in this situation, this situation here, Nautilus is pushing up to you and he's looking like he's about to engage. Fortunately, you have a passive plant here, so if you activate that, it makes it much more difficult for him to engage because he could hook this plant. But like, if you ever end up in a situation like this where, you know, you've identified that you overextend a little bit, and their engage is going to engage on you, and there's a hook champion like the Thresh, Nautilus, or Blitz, then you want to make sure you try and get as many plants like in a line if possible to try and like block the engage from coming through.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, that mean like this plant location here for your E was decent because it meant that it was a good chance that he was going to actually hook this plant. Once again, don't know if intentional or not, but like that's the kind of idea we're looking at when we're looking to disengage from champions.
Semi-intentional, but not a plan. I was thinking if he does hook me, at least then he's going to get slowed and we can put some damage on him. That was the thought process.
Okay.
Because I remember when we did the session on Wednesday, you were saying like make sure you use the plants with the E if it's kind of to engage or if someone's going to engage on you rather than using the Q.
Yes.
Use the Q to poke. So I'm
okay.
trying to remember that a little bit more.
Okay, so this is good. Okay, so I know this Galio's been spam pinging you to engage for the entire time. Just don't try not to let these people influence you in your movement, because this is ultra forced. This is super forced. Like the distance between here, like Galio didn't have to ult the target. But I would say the circumstances that you've been given here have been quite nice. You have your E ready, which is good. You didn't throw it out randomly. Now Jin's managed to make a good root pick here, and then here is a good point where you would do your root. I'm just checking here if you have W seeds here. You've got 2 charges of W. 2 charges of W. You do your E, and then you do a slowing plant. I think here you can do both, like do 2 EWs. Nautilus kills the first one instantly because melee hits kill plants instantly, but there would be another slowing plant here helping out here as well, which would be quite nice. Ignite whacked on, which is good. It's nice seeing you do auto attacks as well. That's good. Quite a force, but you know the root was good and the slowing plant was good. Just use both of them in that situation. Okay, my main concern is that this wave isn't pushed in properly. You can see there's this is a bit iffy because you've only this wave only has 2 melee minions in, so this will be pushing in towards this turret, but slowly. So I'm gonna be really interested in knowing what how this wave looks in about 30 seconds time. I want to see why that happened as well. Is it not shoved in properly? Yeah, I think here you need to help the Jin push in this wave because these minions aren't dying to the turret. And what's happening in here is that, okay, so that one does, but Jin actually killed 1 melee minion, I think, because he thought he was going to push it through, but then he realized that, okay, we can't because I'm here by myself. But I would have looked potentially to push in this wave first and then go up to help, because then you would also be denying the enemy team this wave. A nice expensive kind of minion wave. But I understand, like, also you want to play for the objectives as well, so I don't think there's an absolute wrong decision here, but it's just something to think about going into the future. The waves stay after you've won a fight. Okay. So both backed off here. Okay, I think in this situation here, I think both of you need to recall and spend the money that you won from that fight. Okay. Yeah, you and Jin are both on 1,300 gold. So you need to buy it. I think as soon as that dragon's dead, you can maybe walk into a slightly safer location and then just recall instantly. I think it's too late now for you guys to walk down into this lane state where it's quite deep and their enemy bot lane just died, so they've managed to buy items. So if we look at the items, so Nautilus has earned 2,000 gold this game and Zyra's earned 3,000 gold. and they have like absolutely no money left in their pocket. So you see the 49 gold in her pocket and the 33 gold in her pocket, which means they have collectively 5,000 gold worth of items on them. But then we look over at your side, very similar gold total earned numbers as well, but you're holding 2.7k gold between you. So you are considerably weaker than them right now, even though you just won a team fight. That's why you need to make sure you recall and spend that gold.
Okay.
Because now you're walking quite deep into lane here. I would honestly be surprised if you guys didn't die right now, if you overstay here. Because now they're going to force you into a situation where you both want to recall, but you can't, because now you're going to be recalling with like a bad wave. Like you will lose a lot of money and XP by doing a bad recall, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Because now you're going to be kind of forced into the situation. Okay, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt on this one. You've noticed that Nautilus is quite far away from the Zyra. So you're doing an E here for her. Yeah, so you notice that Nautilus has gone off away and Zyra's by herself. And you're honestly in quite a decent spot here as well. I think you could have done better with the seed placement though. Even though your E does miss.
I panicking quite a lot.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you the same kind of instruction that I gave Belle from the previous tutorial. Is go into a practice tool with a target dummy and intentionally miss your E but spawn plants like on them.
Okay. Also,
if possible in this situation as well, if you can do a Q or an auto attack on a champion, it will the plants then will prioritize the person that you hit.
Okay.
Because right now they're attacking the caster minions, but as soon as you land a Q or an auto hit on a champion, the plants will then prioritize them.
Okay.
Until they get out of range, basically. Because now your plants technically didn't really hit. I think they maybe hit her once and then she just moved away. Whereas if you had hit her, they would have hit her a lot more often here. Okay. Yeah, that was an okay E attempt. You've identified that, you know, Zyra's mispositioned, Nautilus isn't there. There's no way that even though you did use your E that they can re-engage. That's fine.
I got some plans with the E, so that's a good point.
I think here you're just obviously still looking just to do QW poke.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think when Nautilus is with her, it's going to be difficult for you to potentially commit to an E here. Because once again, if you miss, I mean, you're in an iffy position anyway, but if you miss, this frees up Nautilus then to attack your Jhin. You know, maybe he walks forward here and just ults you. Like, there's no way for you guys to disengage at this point.
Yeah, good point.
So you just want to do QW poker at this point. Okay, so now you got engaged on, and is your E on cooldown?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm just clicking on you now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Yeah, so you get engaged when your E's on a 3-second cooldown. Very, very quick TP from the Galio, paying attention here.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to watch that combo. I think it looked good. Okay, so flash should be EW ulti. EW ulti. Beautiful. Okay, good combo there. Perfect. Just, yeah. The whole situation...
Saved by the Galio.
Saved by the Galio, yeah. But, like, you shouldn't have put yourself in that position anyway. Like, you know, throwing out your E's like that did put you, again, in a position where, you know, it was going to be difficult for you to peel off. If Galio wasn't there, then that fight would have been very bad for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really surprising just watching it back. just like when you're in the moment, you don't. I mean, at least I'm not noticing it, but I don't notice my positioning errors and things.
Well, hopefully, you know, once I'm picking this up for you, you'll notice a little bit more often to not do things.
Yeah.
Yeah, your item buy is good. Have you spent your gold? Yeah, you spent your gold this time. Good. I like to see. Okay. Yeah, you're respecting the Nautilus being in the lane here, because you know if you get caught off it, even though Zyra's quite low, it could be pretty risky for you still anyway.
I just spent flash as well.
Yep. Gallia's really trying hard to gank for your lane, which is kind of weird, but yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he roamed a lot.
Okay, for this situation here, you're gonna have a problem. Potentially. Warding this brush and sitting in control ward. But the problem is when you're auto hitting it like this, you have no vision of anything hit. So what you can do is you can do like if you want to be ultra safe, what I would do is I would actually like, because you get initial vision when you put down this ward, so you can see that no one's in this tri brush and no one's like in the very close vicinity. I would step into the brush in the corner here and then just do a WQ over this wall.
Okay.
So just get a range plant giving you vision in this alleyway corridor here, and because you're standing in this bush, you'll be able to see what's going on up here as well, like behind the dragon pit.
Yeah.
So yeah, like doing this is super risky because you have no idea if you're gonna get collapsed on. I know like Yi's with you still, but like it's still you still.
I think I die like that later on in this game.
Okay.
I think I just face check a brush, take a control ward, and I die for it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're playing like Lux, for example, it's kind of the same thing. You just throw an E over here. E gives you vision on Lux, and you can then just clear out. Just like if you have a vision tool, you need to use it like from your abilities.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to watch this through. Okay, so your E is back up. So the first thing that when Jhin gets caught, you want to crowd control. So yeah, that's fine. The root there is good. The ult is decent. You could have maybe positioned it in a way where the only thing that's going to happen here is that they're going to push forward. So having like this left half of the circle isn't really useful for you anyway, if that makes sense, because they're not gonna like go backwards from forcing out, and you're so far by yourself here, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I keep putting it straight in the middle of the target.
So
not really thinking about using it to disengage properly.
In most cases, I can see why. Like most people would do this like anyway, but just slightly higher. Like, you know, think about where the enemy is going to be wanting to move into. Because you can still, when you had her rooted here, it was going to be an easy ult anyway, since she's not moving anywhere. But I would position the circle so that you're covering like the forward movement more.
Okay.
So in this case, she flashes forward, but like if the circle was moved over to the right just a little bit more, she would have actually, you know, been impacted by that potentially. By the knock up here, like that knock up, so she didn't actually get knocked up. Okay, I mean, it's a shame you died then.
I think I died to Ignite, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think considering, you know, you did the right thing. You did the E, the W, the ulti. Just if you can position your ulti sometimes to block more movement, especially in a situation where you're being pursued, then it becomes a little bit more vital on the exact positioning of your ultimate. I'd say like in a generic team fight, like whacking it in the middle isn't like the worst thing. But yeah, that's just a slightly more higher mechanical thing to think about maybe.
Also just realised that was both flashes. I think I pinged Zyra's flash, but that was Nautilus as well.
Like, obviously, that fight only happened because Jin got caught, so you were just trying to help him out. So
And this is, you definitely would say Luden's game for this one. I was thinking that I know Jax can get quite high health, and I suppose Nautilus is tanky, but Fizz, Zion, Brander, Squishy. What do you think?
I think Luden's is fine. I think Liandry's, you could make an okay argument for that as well, but I think Luden's is probably something that I would lean into more here personally.
Okay.
I think if you're ever not sure, Liandry's is fine.
Okay.
If you're ever like, you know, doubting yourself, Liandry's is an okay item to fall like back onto. But you know, if you can identify there are a couple of squishy targets on the enemy team that you can kill or potentially kill, then go into Luden's. Don't forget, the build path is very similar until like you start building that last item component. So when you buy the Lost Chapter, you can maybe like reevaluate the situation. Go, do I want to actually go do this or this, or like you can then change your mind. Like you can always just So you don't have to fully decide at the start of the game. You can get a grasp. Like say if they did have like one tanky jungle and that was it, but their tank jungler was like 0-3 at the start of the game, then you could go, okay, well this tank is unlikely to be a problem anyway, so I definitely would just go Luden's anyway.
Makes sense.
So you can kind of like reevaluate it like at the first like kind of like 10 minutes into the game.
Is it worth me poking here and just trying to get some damage on the Jax?
Okay, so yeah, it's a good question. I'm glad you asked. So right here you've got resources.
Going down the toilet.
So all the minions and the cannon minion and stuff, the XP that you're potentially missing out here is not generally worth it. Okay. I don't know if you put this ward in. I didn't pay attention, but this ward is nice to help protect. You know, if on the tower dive. I would say I would farm this point, even if this Jax was in the area, until like he either walked past this control ward or if he killed it. If he started attacking this ward at this point and you're farming here, then I would start respecting that and back off, unless you can put a ward in this brush here as well.
Okay.
I don't think it's like necessarily bad what you're doing here. It's just that, you know, it's like you could be getting resources here.
Yeah.
Because doing this does absolutely prevent that you're going to get tower dive, because you do chunk him a decent amount. Like he's not going to tower dive on that health. But yeah, I mean, just try and get back to this wave as quickly as possible. Like I wouldn't chase at this point. Once you've already like nudged him out like that, once you've already seen like he's respected your damage, he's now backed off kind of thing, like this, then you want to look, okay, what? There's no point. You're not going to get a kill here, are you? So there's no point in like chasing it. You want to just look, okay, what can I do now? Like what can I get here? So this wave. So you missed. I would say you've missed out on one melee minion of XP, potentially some CS there as well. So it's not like crazy amounts, but like you know, it could affect you on your next buy and stuff still.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think that plant there is smart. They're just making sure that, you know, the Jax isn't still in the area. I've still realised I just got it on vision for red team only. Yeah, it's not really too much for you to do. I'd just say be careful here, because you won't have vision. They could always like come out of here, so I would say like, or if you ever want to extend past points like this, either put a ward over or just put a plant like over, and just make sure there's nothing here, because if you go past this line of sight here, like here for example, look how far away you are from the Jhin. Like if there was someone there, you do put a ward over actually, but like you should have done it like behind this wall, because now like if there was someone here, you're getting jumped, and then I don't know what the circumstance would be, but it wouldn't be good for you.
Yeah. Can you drop it over that middle bit?
What do you mean, sorry?
Between where the ward is and where I'm stood now, how close do you have to be to drop the ward? Do you know? Can you drop it from fairly far away?
But you can like position here.
Okay.
And then just put your cursor over and it will just drop over. Like
because you know with the river brush, if you drop it on the little waterfall, it puts it in the brush. I didn't know if there was a a thing there as well.
Okay, so so this ward here, when you stand here,
Yeah.
and you put your cursor here,
Yeah.
it wards over, as you probably know if you watched my warding guides.
Yeah.
So
I can't do the other one still, but
okay.
I'm working on it.
So yeah, that one, that one works because your cursor is basically like it's past the halfway mark on the rock, so it has to be pushed over to somewhere over here.
Right,
It's just that cursor icon there is like perfect. I'm not gonna go into the geometry of it, but that's why once you get like your cursor, if you were to put your cursor on your half of the rock, then it would bounce back towards you.
Yeah.
So basically, you're just pushing it over essentially. So you put your cursor somewhere like around about here where my cursor is right now, and then it will just nudge over because it's further than you and it's still in your ward placement range.
That makes sense. I think this is just where I die. Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually really funny that just happened after we just talked about vision.
I knew it was coming up.
Yeah, so same again.
I don't want to spoil it, you know.
Yeah, it's a good trap. So once again, I mean, it's unfortunate that Jin's kind of like face checking it in for you anyway. But yeah, here would be like WQ.
Yeah.
Especially like when they've got there's a control as well, because this ward that you just put down has identified that they have full vision control of this brush. And that when there's a control in the brush, you just need to give it a little bit more respect. So yeah, that's oof. I think you did what you could do. I think it was just E or T. Yeah, so just a quick lesson in there in vision and how to deal with that.
Yeah, it's kind of cringe.
It's wince. We don't say cringe anymore.
Do we not?
Nah. It's cringe to say cringe.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's really wince though, just say cringe then.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so okay. I just want to see what happens when you're coming out of base here. So you're walking out of base. Your AD carry is mid right now, but Zyra's pushing in bot. I say what you're doing right now is fine. I would like this as well. Like I'd be seeing, okay, this is like a lot of free resources for me to take up here. I think at this point I would be looking for Zyra a little bit as well, but safely. That is not a ward, that's a Jin trap. So I probably would QW into this brush here. Like if Zyra was looking to recall, or if she was looking to make a trap here, then I would know about it.
Okay. And
then now you know Zyra's back into the lane here, but there's a fight that started here. Honestly, I kind of think that this fight is way too far away for you.
Okay.
Like, I think at this point, it is unlikely that you're going to make any impact here. But what you can do is prevent the Zyra from taking this turret, and you can claim the free resources coming from this wave as well. So yeah, I think by the time you get here, whatever's going to happen is going to be resolved. Yeah, which has happened. And now Zyra... Well, there's minions dying to the turret, but it looks like the turret's going to probably die from minions as well. So yeah, you could have prevented this turret from going down, basically.
Yeah.
So we're going around, hopefully warding a little bit. Good oracles pop. Once again, like deep brushes like this, try and get in the habit of doing WQ.
Okay.
Or even just doing, yeah. Okay, that's one thing I'll say about this. You did a good thing getting rid of the Scry's Orb, even though you know you're not going to be seeing anything. But one thing I would like you not to do is go so deep around that corner. I think it's not worth the risk. You going into this position here, and you're kind of forcing yourself into like a real corner here. If anyone was to show up coming around this corner, you would probably you might have to look to having to flash over this wall. Whereas if you're from this position here, you could just auto hit this and just get rid of it.
Okay.
Because the power of the Scry's Orb is that it gives the enemy free vision and you can clear out your wards for free. But your main objective is just to get rid of this.
Yeah.
So that the enemy can't use it. Just quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Whack out, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, overall that's good movement, vision. That's a solid ward as well. I like that ward.
Yeah, I was trying to just get vision around the dragon pit. It's coming up in 20 seconds or so.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really nice ward. Okay, so Jin's got caught off here. Let's see how we can help him out here. So I'm looking for an E on the AD carry, not the tank. You got to kill the higher priority targets first and fixate on those more. Like the quicker Zyra's out of the fight, like then it means that no one is gonna die in your team potentially. Just a higher priority target basically. Like Nautus isn't exactly the scary target here. He's not gonna kill anyone.
I think I totally get what you're saying, and I think it was the wrong decision. I think my mindset was I didn't want the Nautilus to get away.
Okay, I wouldn't worry about that.
Kills, but yeah.
Like with the Jhin on this low HP, it's just not worth it. But and also like if the same situation happens at like 30 minutes in the game, like Zyra would have a lot more damage as well. So then like you definitely would want to focus on the Zyra at this point as well.
Sure.
So it's just always try and prioritize. You know, the quicker you kill Zyra, the quicker your team can also then shift on to the Nautilus anyway.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but
I mean I missed the E on the Nautilus.
Yeah, but the slow plant's hit on it anyway, so it's not. It's apart from the target. I think what you did there is fine.
Okay.
Okay, so you're probably gonna get Ludens. I think the recall here is fine. Yeah, you don't want to be walking back into bot lane since that's already shoved in. So if I'm looking for you to be heading more towards like the mid, towards the Barren River kind of area now. Like you got a lot of vision littered around bot side, which is good and nice and deep as well since you're ahead. But now you want to try and claim some of this top side. When you're doing WQ harassment, try and only use one plant, not two, because you're going to want one probably for like a slowing plant potentially in case anything does happen.
Okay.
And the DPS extra of one plant isn't really like there. Whereas the main reason why you're doing one Q plant is to proc, like, you know, in lane it's like gold, mana flow band, comet. Most of those instances only happen from one like instance of plant damage anyway.
Right, okay.
And then later on it's like a Ludens proc, like an extra plant like hitting at the same time when they're running away isn't gonna add anything, like a plus 40 damage. So just make sure you, like, it's better to have just do one QW rather than just both. Then you have one plant for the slow basically. Okay, so teamfight's coming out here. I want to see... Yeah, now... Okay, so as I just mentioned that, you don't actually have any W charges left. It's still on cooldown. You don't have a W. Also, this build... You're putting points in W second? What's the reasoning behind on
that? Not sure, actually. I don't know.
Just put them in E, okay? Especially like when you're using this one plant rule, you're gonna find that, you know, you're not gonna be in a situation as much anyway where you don't have W issues. So yeah, just do W. Sorry, in your skill order, Q E W.
Okay, I thought because was there another build that you were doing? Like
There's a cooldown reduction build, yeah, but this isn't.
Is that W max first? I think that's what I was thinking.
It's not W max first. It's second W, but yeah, I don't want you to do that anyway. So yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
The route here is nice. It's a shame that, you know, obviously you didn't have a seed to... Or did you? I'm just having a look at them. No, I think that's from passive. So yeah, the route was good. The urgency there from the route was nice. Q's good. You've got ulti, but there's no reason to use it at the moment. Good route into ulti. Yeah, there was an E there that I didn't like then, as you probably just saw. Yeah, max range, just kind of random E's, big no-no. Especially like if you got hurt by the Nautilus there, then you would have no way of getting out of that situation. Do we have wards on you? You've still got 3 ward charges. I want to be like one thing I want to emphasize is warding. Get a ward here. Like this tier 1 turret's dead, so try and get a ward here at this crossroads here, because it will help see rotations to see where the enemy are going off to.
Okay.
Really, really, really valuable. I'd say like this is like probably the most important ward mid game. Like somewhere in the mid lane you want a ward. If you were on the back foot playing defensively, like around about here would be fine, where this caster minion is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an aggressive stance, then you basically want one on like the opposite side, so around about here. If both tier 1 turrets were still up mid game, then just putting a ward like I like personally putting it like around here where my cursor is right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that way you can't get it deep, unfortunately, because you know the turret would then obviously see it. But then it helps you see a bit more deeper around like this alleyway here, and you can still kind of see where like they're going to be rotating off to. And that position would be the opposite side here, so that would be around about here if you're on the other side of the map. Just because it's like it's the furthest point away from the turret. Like you couldn't put, like if you were, you know, red side like you are right now, and you put the equivalent ward here, this turret would still see it.
Yeah.
And say if you're blue side as well, you couldn't put one here because this turret would still see it. So it has to be on like the further alleyway away from the turret. So just like around about here would be good.
Okay.
If there was a 2-1 turret, otherwise you just whack it in the middle. Because you'll see like in high ELO, supports will like even sometimes put control wards in the lane, just to make sure that they can't see rotations. That's how important it is.
I think I drop a ward in the lane later on, just because I think I've seen you do it.
Okay. I don't know how it's ended up in a situation where you're by yourself and not with your team. Just trying to find out what's happened here. I'm gonna go back in time even further. So you were with the Jhin.
So I think
and then everyone left mid. Yeah.
Off to fight, and I was like, well, there's a whole wave here, so I was like,
yeah.
I'll just take the resources.
Okay, so you're doing the right thing here, taking the resources. Just trying to like work out what happened.
Just kind of ignoring the cluster that's happening in pot lane.
I think since you know there's a fight happening on here, you want to push down mid, which I think you do anyway, which is the good decision. I'm gonna try and get you're doing a good thing here. Like it's too late for you to get the bot side anyway, and you can see there's a lot of people down bot side. So yeah, pushing in this wave here is fine as well.
So my thought process when I dropped those plants down, I was
you
like,
could take these chickens.
I was like, Bizzle told me not to go too deep, so I dropped the plants and then ran away.
Right, yeah, okay. I mean that mindset, that's fine. Like now this has been shoved in and stuff. Like as long as you know that like a large majority of their team is involved in a fight elsewhere on the map, doing something like that where you're caught off position, really, it is fine to do. I would even go to the point you have nice vision here. Like you can see that you know. The enemy team are fighting here. The next thing that the enemy needs to do is like kind of clear out this mid wave, otherwise they're losing free resources here. You could take these chickens. I would be, you could either like join back in with your bot lane or take these chickens. I think either play here is fine. I would then be looking to like maybe take these Krugs as well if they're up.
Okay.
Because you're not going to get to tier 3 here. I think overstaying for tier 3 is too much. Yeah, because... yeah, this is too much, and you've been warned. So I'd say, like, at this point here, you're in a really good position, like, after this wave, to try and take free stuff, basically. So, like, if you overextend too much, you won't have the opportunity then to deny them Krugs, to deny them chickens. Because you just basically, at this point, you want to, like, just take stuff from their jungle as much as possible.
Okay.
Which you can definitely do on Zyra.
Yeah, I think I take the chickens, but I don't know if it's now. It might be later.
Okay.
So I do it a little bit, but it's kind of...
oh yeah,
there you go.
This is. I mean, this is good.
There's a lot of stuff where I have to think about it a lot.
I mean, it's taking you longer as well because you don't have more than 1 point in E, so you got a little bit less damage here. You did this ward. Okay. This ward is good. This ward just needed to be done like a minute ago. That's good.
There's a lot of stuff that I feel like I realized
and now Baron.
after the fact.
So you've got, okay, so you're doing some good things here. So I'm gonna like, this is kind of like higher level, like macro playing. So I don't know if you're doing it because you just know to do it or it's just happened, but this is good. The ward's good. You pushed in mid, which is good. Your team has started Baron. So your team, the enemy team, this is gonna give you free vision going down this lane as well. And also if they don't answer this wave, they're definitely losing free resources. So this is good that you've pushed this in. And then
so I think it's just from watching you. I think like I've just heard you say a bunch of times, like make sure you push mid before taking Barons. You've got mid prio, dropping the ward there so that I can see if they're coming.
Okay, one thing I'd say though is don't use your E on Baron like this, especially when you're not exactly sure where they are, because one or two things are going to happen. They're either going to contest or they're going to leave it. But like using your E on Baron for an extra 100 damage isn't like worth it. Like you're going to need that that cooldown in order to defend if they do end up coming in. And once again, I wouldn't use up all my seeds either. Like maybe doing one QW here to help with DPS. Like now you have your E. Like this is like why you have your E up to make sure like you can do this. So yeah, it's good. You know, you died, but you know, you kill their top laner. You're increasing the chances.
Really fed as well that game. He was probably the most fed player on the team, I think.
This is Scuff Central. I'm kind of mesmerized how that actually worked out for you guys. But yeah, I mean, you know, you did the right call here. I just want to see your exact combo. Okay, let's have a look at your exact combo. Okay, so hold on, let's just pause. Okay, so yeah, at this point you see Brand. I would try... Okay, so in this case here, when you're doing an important objective like this, I wouldn't mind if you didn't land a root here, but you would want slowing plants here because the Brand would like find it difficult to have to negotiate between having to auto hit your plants in order to not get through or just having to tank it and walk through it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So here I'll do like max range EW to stop him from coming into the situation. Yeah, now he's got too close. So now he will commit with an ulti and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. So yeah, I think next time when you're in a situation with Zyra here and you do see someone walk past your ward like this, just like E, ideally two slowing plants if you can, but just like, to make it difficult. And even if they move up forward to like, once you've done that plant and they're there and they're still persisting to walk through it, then ulti, and then it just delays the situation. It makes the plants stay up a little bit longer as well, and you know it makes it really difficult for Brand to get in from here to the Baron. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're just basically cutting off this choke point. Just think of it more like a Nivea wall. Obviously they can still walk through, but like you're just trying to block them from coming in as much as possible here.
Yeah, kind of zoning them off a bit.
Yeah, because by this point here, Brand has actually managed to get into honestly a good position for him. His standpoint, he's going to get everything off.
Yeah, my whole thought process as well was like, I can't let Brand ult, but yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
he does get to ult, yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Whereas if you did the move earlier, like I mentioned, that ult would have been much later. It would have, I don't know about this whole Baron situation anyway. You guys haven't got exactly the best DPS for this, but
yeah, and also Yi, the whole game. I mean, you'll see it, but every time we go to take a big objective, Yi is like elsewhere taking camps.
There's a Yi.
Yeah, yeah. It was all game. It was really bizarre.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, you guys were doing that without your jungler. I've only literally just realized. Yeah. I mean,
which is a risk anyway. But I think we were pinging him, and then I don't know, I can't remember, but I think he ended up going bot side after we were pinging him.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, under normal circumstances, you wouldn't want to do that without your jungler, but because 3 of your teammates have already made that call, you did the right move in terms of like helping them out there, because it's better to be like a group of people committed to something that is a bad move rather than individual people doing the right move. It's like in that case, it worked out for you.
It's just about. Is it funny watching bronze games for you? There must be a lot of illegal stuff going on in this game.
No, I mean no, not really. To be honest, it's I don't find it like amusing. I know there's some like Twitch channels out there that only showcase like Iron games, and people find that funny. But I think it's just a learning process. It's just like you're just not aware of things that you could possibly do, and I'm just trying to like open your eyes up to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only way you learn is either by practicing consistently or having someone like make it clear that you're doing a mistake.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you guys are Baron. You guys definitely should be looking to push in. Okay, this is a huge catch here. You're moving in way too close, by the way. The root misses as well, unfortunately. But yeah, like just in case like Brand would turn on you like really, really harshly, like I wouldn't like get that close. If you don't feel comfortable with doing E's after Sonya's, by the way, like it's obviously good practice to try and like get the root down as Sonya's is breaking. But if you don't feel comfortable doing that, just do like an E, W, like roughly.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So that, yeah.
Okay.
Like, I would love it for you to be able to mechanically like get the root in straight away after the Zonias, but you know, it is okay just to do an E slow there as well.
Okay.
Taking away resources. I think taking away resources is like we were talking about is okay. It is good. You want to look to do that, but like if you're in a stance here where, you know, you've got some people here posturing to try and take this turret, then you need to be with the turret. Like you got Jin here, and you got Gadio here. I think you guys should be like together here, working together. I think if this Yi's just been solo and doing random stuff all game, just let him just do whatever. You're not going to be able to control this guy. Like, there's nothing you can do to control this guy. But you can still work with your other teammates and stuff, so try and do that still. It is 4 for 4 on the map right now. I think you should be here with your team, with your your core team. You do come in here and just see E W good. I like the auto hit as well. That's cool. Okay. The problem is now that you're losing kind of like. Okay, I don't like that ult. Why are you doing that ult? Can you walk me through that?
No, I can't. As soon as I did it, I was like, man, I hope Bizzle doesn't see this later. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a bit random. We won't talk about it too much. It's just a random thing, random misplay. Yeah, once again, you can't just keep like, you gotta kind of stick around a little bit with these guys. Okay. Like you can definitely tell them that you don't want to be there by like giving them back pings, but I wouldn't like completely abandon them like this, because especially like in this elo, you kind of need to give them a heads up. Like sometimes people will do this, overextend, and if you feel like it's not the right move, indicate to them, but you can't just like abandon them in this position straight away, because they're just not going to be necessarily aware that you've even left, to be honest.
No worries.
But overall, I do like this rotation on the prioritizing of tier 2 top. I think that is a nice move. In terms of my macro move, I like it. I think you could help out again here once again. I think you did it again as well. What I just said, what you should have done to Gally, you told him to back off there.
Yeah.
But you can't. I don't think you can completely, like, you can create distance between you and him. Like here, I'd say it's like maybe slightly too far, but like that would be like the upper limit. Like if he does get engaged on around the flank, you can still kind of help out.
Yeah.
You don't have to fully commit. You could just be like E max range slow plants or whatever, or ult to cut off a choke point or something. But I think you can still like, you know, link up a little bit here. Okay, we're recording. If you needed to recall, which you probably did, you ideally would have done that about 10 seconds earlier.
Okay.
I want to see like another ward in the lane here. Okay, you're following up on this chase, which is fine.
Too close to the Jax.
I mean, you haven't... Did you even... Yeah, 1 second. I'm just having a look at this. Did you use E on the wave?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you used E on the wave. It's about to come back up though. I think in this situation here where Jax has leaped onto your face and your E's on cooldown, I think you just have to ult yourself.
Okay.
Just to have the knock up, and then like your E will be up. Like in that case, like yeah, he's fully committed with his engage, and your E's on cooldown. Like if you, there is a chance you die here. I don't know how fed this Jax is, but
not very. So level 13 actually.
Okay, yeah, I mean that was pretty close. If you didn't have flash, yeah, that would have been bad, but nice combo with the E ulti, keeping your distance good. I would say try not to recall here, because you have for 2 reasons. You want to keep momentum, but also you had a red buff and that was healing you. That would heal you up a little bit. But you want to keep momentum here, so don't look to recall. You can keep your distance, do max range Q and stuff, but kind of be there more for like morale and try not to use your E's like that.
Yeah, I just need to put a lot more value on my E, I think, is the main thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much happened.
Think of it like a Blitzcrank hook.
Yeah.
If you ever play Blitzcrank and you hook some cooldown and then you get engaged on after that, you just like, you literally just can't. Yeah, exactly. It's very similar.
You got like a little knock up and that's it.
I like the mid wave pushing in. Did a good shove in there, rotating over. There's a tiny bit of face checking going on here. I'm not fond of this, especially since you know that they have vision here.
Okay.
You're very, very, very by yourself here. And you've got one teammate not even remotely close to a fight with no teleport. You got Yi. He's going the wrong way. Opposite way as well. This is like... You know that they have vision on you, but you're still committed to staying into this position of a flanking position when you don't have the right to.
It's not disrespectful, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone has flash here, like if the Jax had flash, which he does, he could have actually just flashed over that wall, jumped you, and you would have died. No one would have been able to react in time for that.
Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't look to recall here necessarily either, because your bot lane is still here. Like, if you reset, you got nothing to do anyway. Just as before, just keep your distance. Keep like, respect, obviously, the fact that you're low HP, but you want to still be, like, involved a little bit with max range plants or something, right?
Okay. Just
try and recall at the same time as your team. Because again, now you're coming out for base, and it's just... You know... Everyone else is probably going to want to recall on your team. Like Jin might recall now. Gadia might recall now. Baron's about to come up. But yeah, just try and like recall at the same time as your team. So you're doing the right thing here now though. You've got, you know, you're prioritizing vision around the objective. That's good to see. Get rid of this Scryer's orb though as quickly as possible. Just so that enemy team can't use it. Okay, good. Try not to use all of your W charges on the Baron. As mentioned before, you want to keep one for an E. In case they do come in. Like, if it gets pretty close in the DPS, say it's like around about 2k health and you see that the enemy team's starting to come in, just nuke it as quickly as possible, the Baron. I think at that point is fine.
Okay. It almost may have worked out better than thinking, well, he's bot side and obviously not doing Baron. I don't know.
Okay, so you guys have got Baron, you've got Cloud Soul, Elder Dragon spawn, so yeah, priority needs to be there. Hit the Scryer's orb there.
The other issue is that Yi just died as well.
Yep, okay. Yeah, good point. So you've got no jungler.
I'm basically thinking like, I just want to try and stall them for as long as possible so they can't take the Elder Dragon.
Yep. This Q is good. Just create some harassment. The E is a bit panicky, but I can understand. But I think the overall combo itself is fine. It's good. It's solid. And you got Baron. Okay, so you've killed out a couple, so now you can then look back onto the dragon. Unfortunately, they do get the dragon. It's a kind of a tough one to know whether or not you can actually fight this or not. Just because of the Elder Dragon and stuff, and that you did already use a lot of cooldowns anyway.
Yeah.
Elder Dragon's always tough. That Jin just smurfed like crazy there.
Carried that so hard.
Let me just check here. So you did good here. Killed the brand, good. I think as soon as you hear Elder Dragon's dead, I want you to like play in like not too aggro. I think if Renekton wants to commit to this, I think you can maybe potentially look at something because, you know, they do have one person dead and you guys are relatively pretty strong anyway. But like, I would make sure you keep your distance. You don't want to be the one initiating here.
Yeah, I'm way too close, aren't I?
Yeah, you walk forward a lot here. You even step forward a little bit after that as well. So just try and keep your distance a little bit.
Okay.
Just max range QW. I mean, don't forget you haven't got your ulti, and just use your E to peel.
Yeah.
I think that's basically gonna be it, isn't it? Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stop it here because I don't want to like ramble on. Okay, so runes at the very start we mentioned. I want you on those inspiration secondaries.
Okay. Also help with sustain and lane, I'm guessing as well.
Yes, it should do, particularly on your mana early.
Yeah.
Make sure you spend the gold that you have that are in your bags.
Yep.
We don't want to see you on 600 gold coming out of Fountain again at level like 3. Make sure you use it all.
Okay.
I want you to do E second, not W.
Yep.
When you harass with your Q, I only want you to use 1 seed.
Yep.
So then you have 1 seed as a backup. So always generally trying to have 1 seed as a backup for your E.
Okay.
For engages or disengaging. More value on your E. That's going to help your mana as well, because you're just trying to like chug out, like throw out E's, and it's making you vulnerable, but it's also draining your mana.
Yeah.
So just try and stick only to the QW harassment, whittle them down. If you're up against an engage support and they're full HP or looking healthy, always just save your E for a counter engage unless your jungle is coming down. Then you can then maybe look up for an engage.
Okay.
If the enemy tank is low, then it becomes a bit different. Like if you are healthy and so is your AD carry, then you can actually like start fishing with your E for an engage to maybe look for a kill. But only in the circumstance where a kill is possible and they can't turn on you really. Or if they were to turn on you, they would die pretty quickly. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. And also you said practice tool go in and practice missing the E but getting the slowing plants.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
I think your combos were good. Your combos are generally pretty clean. Your ultis were generally consistent. There was like one that was a bit, but like your E's into the ulti and then using your Q, whatever, that's good. And I liked your auto hits as well in the lane phase. I want you to keep that up as well.
Okay.
I mean, in your match history, there was a lot of wins, wasn't there? So like, this is going still. This is like kind of like episode 2 really for you, because I have already coached you recently as well on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
So the wins, the wins that are a good sign of like you improving already. The combos in particular that I really like. Let's just tidy up like the E usage overall.
Yep.
And only use 1 plant, like mainly for the harassment.
Okay.
I mean, once you nail those 2 points, I think your macro sense is decent. Like you're setting up the objectives properly. I want you to think more about ult placement in terms of mechanically, how like you can use that to lock off areas and things like that as well. Like when we talked about the choke point here with the brand, and we talked about how like down here where the Zyra and the Nautilus could only push forward. So that's all they're looking to do anyway, and that's what you wanted to protect for, so you wouldn't have more of the ulti on your side as opposed to, so just have a think about that a little bit more if you can, or if like you all kind of like acknowledge, even if you do make a misplay like that, try and acknowledge in your head like, oh yeah, like next time maybe I need to think more about that kind of thing. That's quite advanced, I think, down the Zyra chain.
I spend a lot of time doing things in matches and then thinking, oh yeah, that's what I should have done instead, which is a good thing, right? Because it shows that I'm kind of aware of it at least.
Yes, exactly.
But it's I feel quite mechanically clunky on Zyra. I haven't played a lot of Zyra. I'm probably on 25-30 games maybe.
Okay.
So I suppose it'll get a little bit smoother, but I feel a little bit clunky. The ult I find a little bit tough to time right, but it's getting there. I think
your combos overall have been generally pretty good. It's just those points that I want you to respect a little bit more. I'm going to mention the items that you took afterwards. I want to have a little. We didn't really brush on items too much after the Ludens. You got the Zhonya's there and the Morellonomicon. Can you kind of explain your reasoning for that?
I was thinking the Zhonya's was probably Jax jumping on me or Brand doing an ult or something like that. Morellonomicon, Actually, I'm not sure. I guess like I was thinking Jax might heal a little bit, but he's so far behind, it probably wasn't worth taking it for Jax.
Yeah, I think the Morellonomicon is not needed here.
Yeah.
There isn't really anyone on the team. I mean, usually Grievous Wounds in most games gives a lot of value, so I can see how like you've generically just bought that. But actually against that team, Brand's not going to heal. Jax might heal for a little bit. Fizz, Zyra, and Nautilus aren't going to heal. So there's really only the person is Jax, and he's not that scary really overall. The Zhonya's pick, I think is okay. I think that's an okay buy. I don't think, I just wanted to hear your reasoning behind it. I think there's
probably the Fizz as well. Fizz is an assassin, isn't he? So I guess I was thinking like Fizz jumps on me then.
Yeah, I think if you're worried about being caught off, I think Zhonya's is fine. It's absolutely fine. Instead of the Morellonomicon, what else do you think you could have bought?
Guessing Demonic Embrace is probably a good buy.
Yep, that's a fun buy.
Maybe a Wardstone as well would be good, but probably later on for the Wardstone.
I wouldn't buy the Wardstone at this stage unless they had potentially like a stealth, like an Evelyn or like a Twitch where you could have 2 control wards down on the map at one time. Okay. That would be quite handy. But yeah, I think Demonic Embrace is probably the right answer here.
Is it ever worth getting a Rylai's, or is that not?
I don't rate that item incredibly highly.
Okay.
I don't think it's worth it. You could maybe incorporate that with a Liandry's build.
Okay.
Just because it would extend the duration. The slow only lasts for 1 second, unless you have a magic burn on them, like the Demonic or the Liandry's. So, so if you are looking for a reason to peel like that, then you could do that, but I'm not a huge fan of it anyway.
Okay.
Another item you could also consider is Cosmic Drive as well. I know we were talking about that like kind of briefly with the cooldown reduction kind of thing, but that's still like a decent-ish item still, even after some of the item nerfs. So you could have been slightly more powerful instead of the Morello. But yeah, I think in the majority of your cases, though, you probably will end up wanting, like, ironically, you will want a Morello. Most teams end up having a lot of healing on them. It's just that it just so happens that this game in particular, like, not really actually. It's weird that there's an AP mage top, so that's probably why. Like, if it was like looking at your team, for example, like you've got like the Yi that's going to be healing, you got the Renekton that's going to be healing. And if I saw like Jhin had like a Bloodthirster, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, then I would need Grievous Wounds against that. So against your team, the enemy team should be picking up some form of Grievous Wounds, which I think they are starting to. So yeah, just try and like optimize it. If you end up buying just the Oblivion Orb and then realize, oh yeah, okay, actually I don't really need Grievous Wounds, that's fine. Just keep the Oblivion Orb and then move into a different item. Okay. Because then it's only like 800 gold. But like always trying to like, when you're halfway through like an item build, just question yourself whether you actually need what item you actually need. So like with the Liandry's and Ludens, you can question yourself again, like when you buy that Lost Chapter, because both items have the same component as well, and stuff like that as well. So you always try and have a little quick glance and check if you need Grievous Wounds or not.
Yeah.
Or if they have, if they have tanks that aren't performing very well. Then you could maybe opt into the Ludens as well.
Okay, awesome.
Do you have any questions?
I don't think so. It's a lot of the same stuff we went through. Well, not a lot of the same stuff, I guess, but yeah, similar things I still need to work on from Wednesday. But it feels more fluid. I don't know if it looks more fluid. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just in my head a little bit, but it definitely feels a bit more fluid.
The combos, nice. I can't remember the coaching session from Wednesday. But like the combos are good, but I see a lot of the same mistakes in the bronze and silver ELO. Like the silver Zyra player that we were looking at earlier, the E was the same problem as well. Like overusing the E, but then after I mention it, then getting caught out, and then you have nothing to disengage from. So just respect the E, the value of the E, just a little bit more, and you'll benefit from that.
I was playing a lot of Lux before. I was like a Lux man, I guess. I think we did a coaching session. It might have been May. Yeah, probably May. And I think you said the same thing about the Q. So it's definitely something I need to work on. Just need to hold back that crowd control.
Yeah, just don't chuck it out for the sake of chucking it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wait for the key moments, whether it's to disengage or if the enemy has grossly mispositioned. Like, if it's a minor misposition at max range, it's always going to be a risk throwing it out, because it's going to be questionable if you land it, and it's going to be like if you miss, when you're up against high ELO players, you will get punished for doing that. So it's like now is like the perfect time for you to get in the mindset that you need to put more value on your crowd control abilities before you come across the players that will actually punish you on a more consistent basis for doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, one thing before we jump off. You asked me at the start kind of where do I want to get to over the next month. Do you have an idea of like what you think might be realistic over the next month?
So I've never done intense creation. This is going to be a new experiment for me as well. Like overall, I'm going to be honest, I don't exactly know how good of a coach I am. This is like my 50 to 60th coaching session. I've never really properly tracked how my people have done. So this is going to be like a nice thing to look on, hopefully, and see how everyone does. As long as you're putting the games in between the coaching sessions, I honestly I don't see a legit reason why you couldn't hit gold.
Okay, done.
I think your macro sense is decent. I think, this game was obviously a win, but, you've been winning games seemingly recently anyway. Your combos are good. It's just, the points that we've made, if we can tidy those up, then honestly, you're probably going to be like one of the top 5% Zyras on the server. So,
thanks, man.
But you have to make sure you get rid of those things that we mentioned, and it's gonna be difficult. Like the next time I review you, I'm probably gonna see a couple of the same things again, but I'm gonna keep bringing them up, and reminding you. I'm just gonna keep poking you basically and saying, you're doing it again. Stop it."
Oh man, please do, because I need it.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, like next week we'll try and do me up again. And we'll go through. It doesn't have to be Zyra necessarily. Whatever you're most comfortable with in the situation, we'll pick one up. Hopefully a defeat this time.
I'll work on it. I'll see what I can do.
So yeah, obviously, these coaching sessions are, I can do my bit, but now it's like your turn to do your bit. You need to put the games in. You need to play some solo queue. Try and do a few games on average a day. So 15 to 20 games ideally between now and the next coaching session. I want to see your match history basically full of solo queue games, basically. Fresh from this week. Cool. There is a patch on Wednesday. So I won't be able to look at any games before Wednesday. So don't think that you can chug 20 games in now and then not do any until the next one, because I'll need to see games across past then as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Right, well, good luck in your games. Don't end. Thanks, and yeah, all the best. Speak to you next week.
Thanks so much for your time, man.
Sorry, take care.
See you in chat, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, chat, I hope you guys are watching and paid attention to everything I said. It's kind of similar to the previous Zyra game, and you can see one of the things I want to highlight is if you did watch the fall of the first episode, with that Zyra player, Bell, how even though that this is Bronze 1 and that Bell is in Silver 2, mistakes are still consistent. And it's all about eyeing out those mistakes, because you'll hit a wall eventually where the same mistakes that you're making, you can get through making the same mistakes until a certain point, and then you're going to have problems. So it's better to get rid of them now rather than later on. So with the same mistakes that Destructor here is making, he can probably hit Silver pretty comfortably, honestly, if he just keeps putting the games in. But then he's going to have a problem where, he's using his E too much randomly, and then he's going to get caught off, and then it's going to be consistent, because better players will know how to punish that more often. So hopefully next week we'll see when we catch up with Destructor. We've still got 2 other people to have a look at with their games, which hopefully we'll do very soon for episodes 3 and 4. And then maybe we'll get the whole bunch together in a call if we're able to arrange that. I think that'd be quite nice to kind of see how everyone's done after the first week, and have kind of a progression kind of update with everyone. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. There's more coaching sessions coming up. As I said, we've still got 2 people to view, 2 people new to the series to view, and then obviously after that we've got weekly updates with everyone. And then yeah, if you're watching on Twitch, don't forget to follow, and don't forget to stay very awesome. Take care guys, and look out for episode 3.